Have you ever wondered why some people achieve great success while others struggle, even if they have the same goals? Or why it's so hard to break bad habits and build good ones? What if I told you that the secret is not about making huge changes, but about making tiny, small changes every day? Welcome to English Journey, your daily guide to growing personally while mastering English. I'm Celine, and every day we bring you new videos to help you improve your English skills, grow as a person, and build a better life. Before we dive into today's exciting topic, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We have many key takeaways and a short quiz at the end, so make sure to watch until the very end. Atomic Habits: The Power of Tiny Changes. Today we're talking about James Clear's famous book, Atomic Habits. This book teaches us how small habits, when done consistently, can lead to amazing changes in our lives. It's not about making big, sudden changes, but about understanding how even the smallest actions can build up to something huge. Let's imagine a plane flying from Los Angeles to New York City. If the pilot changes the flight path by just 3.5 degrees, or a few feet, nobody on the plane will notice anything at the beginning. But by the end of the journey, the plane will land in Washington, D.C., not New York City. This shows how a very small change in direction can lead to a very different result over time. Our habits are just like that. Small changes in our daily habits can slowly change the direction of our lives. You might not notice the small changes right away, but over many years, you will see a big difference. This can happen in good ways and bad ways. For example, being 1% better every day for a year can make you nearly 38 times better overall. But being 1% worse every day for a year can bring you close to zero. This is called compound growth. Small improvements add up over time, just like money in a bank account earns interest. This means that success is not about one big transformation, but about the product of daily habits. The truth about progress: the valley of disappointment. When you start something new, like a new habit, you might expect to see progress quickly, like a straight line going up. But in real life, progress usually looks different. At the beginning, small changes are often not noticeable. James Clear calls this part of the graph the valley of disappointment. In this valley, you put in a lot of effort, but you don't see many results. This is where many people give up and go back to their old routines. It's important to be patient because the biggest results from small changes happen much later. For example, if you start jogging for 20 minutes today, you won't be in great shape tomorrow. But if you jog for 20 minutes every day, after a year, you will be much fitter, even if you didn't notice the change happening day by day. So, don't get discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Each small effort is helping you grow, and it will lead to big outcomes later. Goals versus systems. Focus on the process. Many people think that to achieve what they want, they need to set specific goals. For example, I want to lose 10 kilograms, or I want to write a book. But James Clear says we should focus on systems instead of just goals. A goal is the result you want. A system is the process that helps you get that result. For example, if your goal is to lose weight, your system might be eating healthy meals and exercising regularly. Here are some problems with only focusing on goals. Successful and unsuccessful people can have the same goals. For example, many people want to lose weight, but not everyone does. So, the goal itself is not what makes people successful. Achieving a goal only changes your life for a short time. If you reach your goal, like running a marathon, your motivation might disappear afterward, and you might go back to your old routines. Goals can make you feel like a success or a failure. You either achieve the goal and succeed, or you don't, and feel like a failure, even if you made progress in the right direction. Goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are best for making progress. If you completely ignored your goals and focused only on your system, you would still succeed. 3 layers of behavior change. identity, process, outcomes. To change your habits, it's not just about what you do, but about who you become. There are 3 layers to behavior change. 1. Outcomes. These are the results you want to get, like losing weight, writing a book, or winning a season. 2. Process. These are the actions you take, like a new workout routine or developing a daily reading habit. 3. Identity. This is what you believe about yourself. It's your worldviews and how you think about yourself and others. Most people focus on outcomes. But the best way to change your habits is to focus on the person you want to become instead of just the results. The goal is not to learn an instrument. The goal is to become a musician. The goal is not to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. When something you want in your life becomes a part of who you are, your behavior will naturally change. Every action you take is like a vote for the type of person you want to be. Doing 1 push-up might not make you strong right away, but it's a vote for being someone who doesn't miss workouts. Meditating for 1 minute might not make you calm immediately, but it's a vote for being a meditator. When you adopt an identity, you are not trying to force yourself to change. You are just acting like the person you already believe you are. True behavior change is really identity change, because once you have changed that internal story, it is much easier to show up each day. You are not even motivating yourself that much. You just think, this is who I am now. The habit loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. A habit is something you do automatically because you have repeated it many times. Habits help us solve problems with the least amount of effort. A habit is formed by a continuous loop with 4 stages. 1. Cue. This is the trigger that starts the habit. It could be a location, a time of day, an emotional state, or even other people. For example, walking into a dark room is a cue. 2. Craving. This is the desire you want to satisfy. When you walk into a dark room, you crave to see better. Or when your phone buzzes, you crave to know who messaged. Or 3. Response. This is the actual behavior or action you take to satisfy the craving. You flip the light switch. Or you pick up your phone. 4. Reward. This is the positive feeling you get at the end. It satisfies the craving and makes it more likely you'll repeat the cycle. The room fills with light, and you feel comfortable. Or you find out who messaged you. Over time, as you repeat this cycle, the habit becomes stronger and more automatic. Your brain learns that specific cues will lead to certain rewards, and it starts to desire the action that brings about those rewards. Understanding this loop is very important for building new habits or changing old ones. By identifying and adjusting the different stages, you can set up a system that works in your favor. The 4 laws of behavior change. How to build good habits. Now that we know how habits work, let's learn how to create good habits. James Clear gives us 4 laws for behavior change, 1 for each part of the habit loop. Law 1. Make it obvious, for the cue. Most of our habits are so automatic that we don't even notice them. To change them, you first need to become aware of them. Use a habit scorecard. Write down all your daily actions, from when you wake up to when you go to bed. Then put a plus next to good habits, a minus next to bad habits, and an equals sign next to neutral ones. This helps you see what you are doing in plain view. Be specific with implementation intentions. Vague intentions like, I will get in shape, are hard to follow. Instead, be clear about when and where you will do your habit. Use this formula. I will behavior at time in location. For example, I will read a book for 15 minutes daily at 6 a.m. in the spare bedroom. This removes confusion and gives you a clear plan. Always use habit stacking. This means adding a new habit onto an existing habit you already do consistently. Use the formula, after current habit, I will new habit. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will stretch for 5 minutes. Choose a trigger that you do automatically every day, such as waking up, turning off your alarm, or brushing your teeth. Design your environment. Your surroundings have a huge effect on your behavior. It's hard to stick to positive habits in a negative environment. To make good habits obvious, make the cues easy to see. Place water bottles around the house in places you are likely to see them if you want to drink more water. If you want to play the guitar more, leave it on a stand in the living room instead of tucked away in its case. This concept is called environment design. The environment acts as a silent helper, guiding your actions without you even realizing it. Try to make separate zones in your house for different activities, like one space, one use. Law 2. Make it attractive for the craving. When we expect a reward, we are more motivated to act. The more attractive an action is, the more likely you are to do it. Understand dopamine. Dopamine is a brain chemical, neurotransmitter, that affects our motivation. We are more motivated to act when our dopamine levels rise. It is released not only when we feel pleasure, but also when we anticipate it. For example, the thought of vacation might give you a dopamine surge, sometimes even more than the actual vacation itself. Seeing junk food you desire causes dopamine to surge, not after eating it. The craving is what makes us take action in the first place. Use temptation bundling. Combine something you need to do with something you want to do. For example, if you want to exercise but love watching Netflix, allow yourself to watch Netflix only while you are exercising. This makes the exercise more appealing because you get to do something you enjoy at the same time. This strategy uses the Premax principle, which says that more desired behaviors will reinforce less desired behaviors. Join the right group. We are influenced by the people closest to us and the groups we belong to. If you want to build a new habit, join a group where that habit is normal. If you want to get in shape, surround yourself with fit people. If you want to read more, join a book club. We are social creatures, and the behaviors of our close groups can shape our own habits. Reframe your mindset. Make hard habits more attractive by highlighting their benefits rather than their downsides. For example, instead of thinking fitness equals fatigue, think fitness equals health and well-being. Instead of cleaning the house equals wasted time, think cleaning the house equals an environment conducive to peace of mind. Instead of saving money equals sacrifice, think saving money equals future financial freedom. These small changes in thinking can change your feelings towards habits. Law 3. Make it easy for the response. If you want to build a new habit, make the action as easy as possible, especially when you are starting. Reduce friction. The more energy required for a habit, the less likely it is to happen. Make your good habits more convenient. For example, if you need to travel 20 minutes to go to the gym, you are less likely to go. But if your gym is on your way to work, you will greatly reduce the friction. If you want to eat a healthy breakfast, prepare the pan and gather the ingredients the night before. This reduces the friction or obstacles to doing the habit. Prime your environment. Set up your environment so that future actions are easier. Lay out your workout clothes at night so you can get up and move in the morning. Use the 2-minute rule. This is a way to make any new activity feel manageable. Scale down your new habit to be achievable in 2 minutes or less. The goal is to simply start the habit, not to complete the whole task. For example, if you want to run a marathon, your 2-minute rule could be, put on my running shoes and stretch for 2 minutes. Or, if you want to read more, commit to reading 2 pages per night. Once you start, it's often easier to continue beyond 2 minutes. This rule helps you overcome the feeling that a task is too big or overwhelming, and it focuses on simply getting started. Law 4. Make it satisfying for the reward. The final and most important rule for behavior change is that habits need to be satisfying. If a habit immediately gives us a good feeling, we are more likely to repeat it. When you experience pleasure, your brain learns that a behavior is worth remembering and repeating. Understand immediate versus delayed rewards. Our brains are wired to prefer immediate rewards. Good habits like exercising or saving money often have rewards that come much later. Bad habits like eating a donut or smoking often give immediate pleasure but have negative long-term effects. To make good habits stick, add a little immediate pleasure to them. For example, if you want to eat out less and save money, open a savings account called Trip to Europe. Every time you avoid a meal out, transfer $50 to the account. The short-term satisfaction of seeing money land in that savings account provides the immediate gratification needed for the longer-term reward. Use habit tracking. Record each time you do your habit, creating a visual representation of your consistency. You can use a simple calendar and mark off each day you complete your habit. Seeing the chain of marked days can be very motivating because you don't want to break the streak. It also gives you immediate feedback and a sense of accomplishment. Benjamin Franklin used a notebook to record his adherence to 13 personal virtues, and this helped him stay motivated. Don't break the chain, but don't stress. While tracking is good, it's okay to miss a day sometimes. Life happens. The key is not to let one missed day become an excuse to stop completely. If you miss a day, just get back on track the next day. Missing twice is the start of a bad habit, so never miss twice. On a bad day, it's better to do a small part of your habit, like 10 sit-ups instead of 50, than not do it at all. Use habit contracts. This is a written or verbal agreement where you state your commitment to a habit and what the punishments will be if you don't follow through. Involve an accountability partner, a friend, family member, or coworker who will help you enforce that contract. We care about what others think and want to be liked and respected, so knowing someone is watching can be a powerful motivator. For example, Brian Harris committed to paying his trainer $100 if he failed to track his food intake, and $500 to his wife if he failed to weigh himself. This strategy worked, driven by his fear of losing money and losing face in front of people who mattered to him. How to break bad habits. Inversion of the 4 laws. Just as we can use the 4 laws to build good habits, we can use their opposite, inversion, to break bad habits. 1. Make it invisible, for the cue. Remove the triggers for your bad habits from your environment. If you want to stop eating junk food, don't keep it in plain sight or remove it from your house. Put your phone in another room for a few hours if you have trouble getting work done. 2. Make it unattractive, for the craving. Find ways to remind yourself of the negative consequences of a bad habit. If you're trying to quit smoking, consider the health benefits you are missing out on or the cost of cigarettes. 3. Make it difficult, for the response. Add extra steps to make starting a bad habit more challenging. If you watch too much TV, unplug it after each use and put the remote in an inconvenient location. If you have a bad habit of spontaneous spending, leave your credit cards under the seat of your car when you go shopping. 4. Make it unsatisfying, for the reward. Introduce some form of immediate negative feedback for indulging in a bad habit. Maybe it's a swear jar concept where you have to put in money every time you do something you are trying to avoid. Feeling an instant sting can deter you from repeating the habit. The Goldilocks rule and mastery. The Goldilocks rule. This concept suggests that for a task or action to become a habit, it should be just right in difficulty. If it's too easy, it might become boring. If it's too hard, it can feel overwhelming, leading to frustration. The optimal motivation occurs when we face challenges that are right on the edge of our current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, just a step beyond our comfort zone. This keeps us engaged and motivated. For example, if you want to read more, starting with a very long or difficult book might be too daunting, but reading a short children's book might not feel fulfilling. Picking up a novella or a shorter adult fiction book might be just right to get you started. Mastery and plateaus. When you are learning a new skill or building a habit, you will likely reach plateaus where you feel like you are not making progress, even if you are working hard. This can be frustrating, like running on a treadmill where you are putting in effort but not moving forward. However, just because you are not making visible progress doesn't mean you are not improving. These plateaus are crucial. They allow you to strengthen your skills and build a strong foundation for the next leap in progress. Don't get discouraged during these times. Stick with it, keep practicing, and you will eventually break through to the next level. The journey to mastery isn't about constant visible progress. It's about dedication, consistency, and understanding that plateaus are just a part of the process. The Diderot Effect. The Diderot Effect explains how obtaining a new possession can often create a spiral of consumption, leading to additional purchases. It's the feeling that when you get something new, other things around it seem outdated or not good enough, making you want to upgrade them too. This effect also applies to habits. One change, one new item, or one new habit can lead to another, creating a domino effect. For example, deciding to wake up early can lead to a morning exercise routine, which can make you more conscious of your diet, leading to healthier eating. Recognizing this effect can help you steer it towards positive changes. The downside of creating good habits. While it might seem surprising, there can be a downside to forming good habits. When habits become automatic, we don't have to think about each step, which is great for efficiency. However, this automaticity can sometimes lead to complacency or less awareness. For example, when driving becomes a habit, you might find yourself at your destination without remembering the details of the journey. This efficient mode can mean you are not as alert as you should be, potentially leading to errors. Similarly, if a positive behavior becomes habitual, you might stop trying to improve or overlook small details. This means you are no longer critically engaged with the action, which can lead to stagnation. Habits, even good ones, can also become rigid, making it challenging to adapt when circumstances change. It's important to remain mindful and periodically evaluate your habits to see if there is room for improvement or if it's time to try a different approach. The goal is to balance consistency with adaptability. Final summary. A tiny change in your behavior won't change your life overnight, but if you turn that behavior into a habit that you do every day and combine it with other positive habits, it can lead to big changes. Changing your life isn't about making huge changes or revolutionizing everything you do. Rather, it's about building a good system of habits that, when put together, give amazing results. Remember, your outcomes in life are a result of your habits. Your bank account is a result of your financial habits, and your knowledge is a result of your learning and reading habits. Focus on changing the habits that come before the outcomes. One last piece of advice. Use habit stacking to introduce new behaviors. If you want to start meditating, you could meditate after you finish your morning coffee. This uses the natural momentum from a habit you already have. Key takeaways. Small, consistent changes lead to big results over time due to compound growth. Focus on building systems, not just goals, for lasting progress. Change your identity to align with the person you want to become. Understand the habit loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. Use the 4 laws to build good habits. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. Use the inversion of the 4 laws to break bad habits. Make it invisible, make it unattractive, make it difficult, make it unsatisfying. Be patient and persistent, especially during the valley of disappointment or plateaus. Use tools like habit tracking and habit contracts for accountability. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your habits, often more than motivation alone. Be mindful of the Diderot Effect, where one new thing or habit can lead to a cascade of others. Even good habits can have a downside if they lead to complacency or rigidity. If you found this summary helpful, Please remember to like this video and subscribe to English Journey. Your support helps us create more great content for you. Quiz time. Now, let's test your understanding. Answer these questions in the comments below. 1. What are the 4 parts of the habit loop? 2. What is the 2-minute rule, and how can it help you start a new habit? 3. How can temptation bundling make a new habit more attractive? 4. According to the book, should you focus more on goals or systems to achieve lasting change? 5. What is one way to make a bad habit invisible? Thank you for joining me on English Journey today. I hope this summary of Atomic Habits has given you valuable tools and inspiration. Remember, every small step you take in building good habits, whether it's learning a new English word or doing a short exercise, is a step towards becoming the best version of yourself. Books are powerful tools to grow your English and your life. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video.